Friends, we are happy to see some innovative products coming out of our country which can help us in holding our examination systems and managing the examination systems. I chose a different topic. Somehow this was put in this particular session, but well, I shall share some thoughts of mine on the examination management as well. But here, for the time being, I would like to present a case study of an ICT-based hybrid pedagogy at a university called Rajiv Gandhi University of Knowledge Technologies. It's a prestigious project of Government of Andhra Pradesh, started in 2008, with a formidable intake of 6,000 students every year. And new IITs have started with 120 students. And starting with 6,000 is, I don't know how to call it, but the university has started with 6,000 students. Very innovative in many ways. We have been talking about ICT-based education. I'm afraid we don't have any case where we have experience gained out of an ICT-based education system, but here is one. I would like to share my experience with you in running a system and after passing one batch of students in the system and up to rural students. So this one started with, as I said, 6,000 students, and the students are taken mainly from rural areas. There is an innovative way by which the Government of Andhra Pradesh selects or provides a kind of reservation for rural students. And 85% of the students are from rural areas, about 85 to 90% of them. And government provides almost everything free to these students. So access, we do talk about providing access of high quality education, inclusiveness, and both are included in this particular university. Now, the education is analog, and certainly we, in this particular university, we offer strong ICT-based education, but with actual laboratories, not virtual laboratories. And we also teach the students or train them on human values. Then soft skills and professional development are included in the curriculum because most of our students are from rural areas. And we have extra courses related to computer skills to the students. And it's very broad-based, with the students opting for, there is scope for students to opt for humanities and social sciences courses. A student can earn a minor if he or she desires so, while majoring in a branch of engineering. And the minor can be in Carnatic vocal, and minor can be in Kuchipudi dance, and even Mridangam. And this kind of education system, broad-based education, is good. And I'm happy to mention that in the first batch of students, about 100 of them took a minor in performing arts, classical performing arts. Right now, they are all classical. Well, let's look at the conventional engineering curriculum and the conventional engineering in the practice. In a conventional engineering course, we do teaching, classroom teaching, through a conventional 50 to 55-minute classes. Yes. And we do give assignments, and certainly some good teachers give more of assignments and very innovative assignments. We do have laboratory, we have project work and summer internship. It may not be compulsory in many institutions. In an institution like ours, and my institution, IIT Kharagpur, it's compulsory. And all these components are components of learning by doing. The student learns by practicing, by doing something, by solving a problem. So therefore, the modern paradigm of learning by doing is not very new. So it is already used even in conventional systems. Well, in a conventional system, there are some drawbacks, like there is no control on the self-work done by a student. So in a process where a student learns by doing, What about let's leave about the classroom part, the homework part, and what a student does beyond the classroom is not under the control of the institution. Some students do, some students may not do. And the students are all not responsible learners. In Western countries where the students pay huge sums of money, or I can say in some crude sense, are more responsible than our students. And many of our students, and particularly those in government institutions, feel that it's the responsibility of the university or institution to make them learn. It's not their own responsibility. I'm sure you will agree with this kind of caustic statement. But that's one reality. Now, having taken cognizance of this kind of facts, we have introduced a hybrid system. We also call a hybrid system as this kind of hybrid system as blended learning system, and we have therefore a system of this type introduced about 5 years back in our university. A 50-minute conventional class is mapped into a 2-hour module. In a 2-hour module, there is a 45-minute 45-minute conventional class or a video course. And in fact, even a video course is also another version of the conventional lecture itself. In the conventional lecture, if the teacher doesn't interact so well, it becomes as good as a video lecture. Now, anyway, there are plus and minus points in that. I'll come to that. It is followed by a 45-minute browsing cum interactive session through a local faculty present there and the students getting involved, and the 30-minute problem solving session is what follows the classroom. And therefore, a conventional 1-hour lecture or 50-minute period is mapped into a 2-hour module. And we have seen to it that the maximum contact period is 8 hours and not more than that, including this. And we have introduced the best of video lectures from all kinds of sources, including books and our own courses. And we have brought a large number of faculty drawn from the national institutions mainly, and they are mainly from the IIT system, and they do the interactive part in the classroom. And there is some flexibility provided. Initially, it is more of conventional teaching and less of learning by doing in the initial years of a course. But as it goes towards the end, that's the final year, the learning by doing component is significantly increased. So a typical classroom is this. It looks like this. Every student is provided a laptop in the classroom, and we have in every campus 150 such such classrooms, and then therefore we have about 450 to 500 semi-EE classrooms in this university. And the e-resources we use in the classroom, as I said, the conventional lecture is also mostly through video lectures. We use our own video courses. We use NPTEL courses, we use the pre-NPTEL courses the IIT system has produced over the last 20 years, and we also use the books which are available online. And of course, besides, we use traditional lectures as well. It can be either of these. And we also provide an e-book or a teaching or browsing material on the laptop from our servers. So a student, because in a 2-hour module, the student does it in the classroom, does the browsing also in the classroom, and does the problem solving in the classroom. And we have, as I said, the NPTEL, pre-NPTEL, that's my course, digitized at IIT Kharagpur as I was teaching 20 years back. And of course, the latest courses of ours, which are made by the university itself, and the NPTEL courses are used significantly. And this is how our examination, our course database looks like. Some of them are from NPTEL and some of them are our own, and it goes on like that. And one important significant luxury we can provide in this kind of system is that a student can be given 3 video courses or 4 video courses. A student can pick up a video course of one's own choice. We have similarly here our own and IIT Delhi's and IIT Bombay's 3 database management courses. It was a good revelation about how the students are choosing the course of one of the courses and then going through that. And yet another innovation we carried out at this university is that, as I said, a student can take a minor in classical performing arts. We have brought the best of exponents descended into our classrooms for our rural students and through lecture demos, and even the classical performing arts training is also provided in ICT based method. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first in the country, and this is how our content servers look like. I mean, each one is a browsing session of the content server. These are all most of them are Padmashris, and the exponents they have brought to the laptops of the students, and the local trainer trains them, and it includes both practical and theory. Well, in a learning by doing kind of session, classroom assignments are important. Very innovatively designed classroom assignments are important. We do give assignments and the students submit, and this is still conventional, the assignment part of it. And some of the assignments are done on the computers, and then they do submit the assignments through online means. Examination culture, well, to share with you, I'm sure any educationist would agree with this, and these are nothing new. And the examination culture, we would like the student to be learner-centric rather than examination-centric, and the question paper bank is completely banned. We won't make the question paper bank available to students, and we tell the teachers to significantly change even the pattern of the examination system. Well, students are to be prepared. They should not go to the court and saying that all of a sudden, suddenly a new kind of paper has been given and we have no idea about the model kind of thing. Then, about the examination system, we have computer-based testing as well as there is a written component. As you know, even examination like the joint entrance examination of the IIT system from which I have come, and even the GATE examination have become online tests where you tick mark. Of course, the student would compute and would analyze, but the end result goes in the form of tick marking options. So it's a big challenge to give a conventional like question paper, which is highly advantageous and which has very significant advantages through an online mechanism. And we do have such computer-based test plus written component as well. And the examinations, computer-based test is available on the laptop itself at the given time for the students. And the moment the student submits, and after a gap of 10 minutes, the answers are also visible. The score of the student is also visible, and the marks get into the database immediately. The written component is, of course, manual still. Well, the system which Mr. Govindraj presented and the subsequent presentations also can be used. We do have many other things which are done. We have a registration in every semester by a student is a must. Registration is online. Everything is connected to the student database. There is a portal. The examination is also through the same thing. Registration is through the same thing, and one can submit assignments also through the same thing. And even the academic regulations are also inbuilt. We have complex regulations because we offer minor alongside major, and in the process, complex regulations are to be inbuilt. There were some companies which were coming to provide us a portal, to develop a portal for us. With the kind of complexity we have, it's not so easy for us to give the inputs to a service provider. and for the service provider to come up with a customized solution for us, there lies some challenge. I'm sure companies would like to take up such challenge. They're coming forward to take this as a case and develop a portal for us. But so far we have developed it in-house, because even providing these inputs to the service provider is also not a joke. And in the process, if you have some people, and you can also build in-house, but I do agree that an institution should not be spending its energies in so many directions. But in an innovative system, you have no other but to go your way. Go for online mechanisms, inbuilt online mechanisms. So admissions are through online, and our recruitments are also through online, and this was started in 2008. And we gained a lot of experience. We have already passed a batch of students in this system. In June 2014, we have graduated 5,420 students in this first batch in the system. 1,300 of them took minors, and in minors in different areas, including management. And I would say that in a nutshell, the system worked well. There were many questions. As you know, even the ICT-based system and the conventional system, there are many plus and minus points. But overall, the system worked well. Learning to learn has happened through this pedagogy. Towards the end, students were saying that, sir, I want a selective. No, there is no teacher. Don't worry, sir. You have provided our video course. I will go through the video course by myself. I will prepare, and you only arrange an examiner for me. So that's the kind of enthusiasm through which the students came forward towards the end, or in final 2 semesters. That means they have already learned to learn, and then therefore they tended to be on their own in the final year, but not so in the first years, because they come from the conventional schooling system. Now, well, there are some people for whom the online lectures are boring, and their attention gets distracted, and it doesn't work. Whereas a teacher...
It is interesting, the new system of education, but the fundamental doubt that we have is it a state university by itself?
It's a state university. We don't have affiliated colleges. Well, I think we are the first university in the country to use NPTEL content formally into the classrooms.
Okay, but when it comes to equivalence with other systems, like all these students eligible to write GATE and appear for MTech, and
yes. Well, actually, we got about 1,000 students responded stating that they took GATE. About 600 of them got qualified.
So
we got all India 8, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on.
So this accreditation, all such formalities with the AICTE.
Right. Actually, we have just passed the first batch, and AICTE wants us to complete at least pass 2 batches before we go for accreditation. It's UGC approved, AICTE approved.
Recognition is...
Yes, it's a state university first of all, therefore it is gazetted, and it's therefore recognized on day 1. But again, our courses are vetted by AICTE, and of course UGC, that vetting is not a significant one. We offer a 6-year BTech after class 10, so which includes roughly a 2-year pre-university course followed by a 4-year BTech.
I have looked at it before this, that's why I had these questions. Thank you very much, sir.
It's my pleasure. Yeah, please.
Why do you call it university as a University of Knowledge Technologies?
Well, actually, there is a story. It's a very interesting question. Good question. Actually, initially, it was thought to be a IIIT, Information Technology Institution. Therefore, in rural Andhra Pradesh, we are popularly known as IIIT. IIIT Hyderabad is masked by our university. But subsequently, after the first, after a few months, it was transformed to an engineering institution. So engineering is broader than just an information technology. And knowledge is more wider than information.
So you're only offering technical courses?
Yes, technical courses with extra emphasis on knowledge and knowledge engineering.
Well, it's not a question. I have a small observation here.
Please.
In the first place, hats off, sir, for the kind of innovations that you're introducing, in conventional education. And therefore, you say hybrid. I was really fascinated by that approach. And the way forward to bring out these innovations is to initially, work out the hybrid combinations and then gradually move towards the innovation. Well, I'm going to talk about one such innovation in the next session, but well done, sir. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.